Boop. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, October the 4th, 2021. And today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 55, 1 through 15, Job 8, 1 through 22, 1 Corinthians 7, 1 through 9, or you could have read Psalm 112, and then Deuteronomy 22, 13 through 30, ending with 1 Corinthians again. I'm going to take a look at Job 8, 1 through 22 and talk about when Job's friends came a-calling. So Job had let's say Job had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's pretty close to the truth of what's going on in Job's life. We had talked about this some last week. You can go back and watch that video or read the book of Job for yourself, and you pretty much catch up in the first couple of chapters. But things had gone very badly for Job, and wasn't his fault. We know that he didn't do anything, and he knows that he didn't do anything. But it got to the point it was so bad that even his wife had urged him to just curse God for the whole thing, and then just get smited out of his misery, or perhaps she was wanting him smited out of her misery. Not really sure. We don't hear much about her, anything about her really, until later. Or actually after this, I should say, not even till later. So she tells me this, but Job still wouldn't. He doesn't ever lose faith in God, but he just wants to know what it is that, why is this happening? He wants to know what possible reason God could have for doing this to him. And if he did do something wrong, he wants to know what it is, because he's been racking his brain as he sits there, scraping his boils with potsherds among the ashes, just trying to figure out what is he did, but he can't think of anything that he did wrong. So things were looking pretty bleak for Job, and then his friends show up. So they come calling. They come to him while he's in this low place. And as I've said before, talking about Job, his friends were doing pretty well with him. Like they were doing a good job until they started talking. That's when it got really bad. So, like, a word of advice: if you find a friend who's in grief, deep grief, suffering something, sitting and mourning with them, like Job's friends did for a long time. Just sitting, not even talking, just sitting and mourning with them, not really offering any commentary. That's actually a pretty good model for people in those situations. So, suffice to say, the word advice here is don't be a Bildad, because Bildad starts talking. And Bildad's mistake, his mistake other than speaking, was and he made this, all the other friends that showed up made this mistake too. But his mistake was to assume that he knew anything about how or why Job was going through what he was going through. Bildad and the other friends, they assume that Job is not being truthful with himself, that he's not being truthful with God, and that he's not being truthful with them about what he has done. He's just got to be in denial somewhere about something he did. And so they go with the common wisdom. It's not that they're wrong as far as the common wisdom goes. I mean, if you look at the Psalms for today, it kind of follows this train of thought that they're following, but they go with the common wisdom, that surely you must have messed up. Why else would God do this to you? If you'll just admit what you did wrong and you'll just apologize for it, well, then God will fix it all and he'll make it all better. It'll just be all magical, which kind of happens at the end of the story, but not for the reasons they're thinking. And, so that's the common wisdom they're following. But we have this dramatic irony here, right? Because you and I and the narrator and Job all know that Job didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything outrightly to deserve this. We have, we know that the common wisdom, as Bildad and his buds are showing, holding it up here, doesn't hold out. It doesn't doesn't hold up in this circumstance. The truth is, in this, the book of Job just kind of puts it out there that, sometimes bad things happen to good people for no good reason whatsoever. That's that happens sometimes. So what's the takeaway from this? Well, you know, uh, don't be a Bildad. Don't uh, don't be an assumer. Like Bildad when your friends are suffering. Don't assume like you know what they did, or don't assume that you know what's going on, because you might not. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get this posted up on IGTV and Facebook sometime soon, because Facebook has completely collapsed apparently today, and all their sundry platforms have collapsed as of right now. So the only thing I can think is Mark Zuckerberg got mad and just went out and like unplugged his router in his garage or something. I don't know. But anyway, it'll be up on YouTube, and you can also listen to the podcast. It'll be up on Anchor because they have nothing to do with Zuckerberg. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. Boop.